All right, we back in here. We back in here. I want to welcome everyone to this session. We're not going to take too long. I just want to quickly emphasize that everything has magical properties. Before we get into the Q&A, before I answer any questions, I want to make these few points and we can go in. So first and foremost, everything has magical properties. But what do I mean when I say that? Allow me to explain. Everything material, everything that is composed of matter has magical properties. For example, let me show you right now. Regular wallet, right? We all have these. Regular wallet, leather, basic stuff, right? Can get it from Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, wherever, right? Regular stuff. Leather is connected to the buffaloes. So leather actually enhances your strength. It's like the combination of Saturn and Mars for those who understand astrology. Essentially, Saturn would denote strength or power, and Mars denotes energy and vigor. So you combine energy and vigor with power, you have what is called the buffalo. So to have leather, leather wallet, leather coat, leather shoes, so on and so forth, right? Leather is a big thing. So instead of looking at leather as luxury products, you can look at them as magical tools. So just giving a brief example of how basic everyday items are magical once you know where they come from. For example, let me take it a step further because I have a couple things in the wallet, but I'll just pull out a dollar bill just to make an example here. All right, we all have one of these, right? Regular. This is composed of certain plants. One of these plants is flax seed or flux seed, FLUX seed, right? That seed is connected with the planet Mercury, hence money. So most people walk around with these things all day, every day, as a tool for spending, to exchange this to get whatever is worth the amount you exchange it for. However, to just have money in your wallet as a tool, as a magical device, actually brings in the energy of Mercury right to your pocket. Just by having the dollar bill or any type of monetary or material or currency, call it whatever you will. Just having that on your person, just like having the leather on your person, makes a difference in your life. Let's take it a step further. Let's take it to color. Right now I have a white shirt. If I was wearing a black shirt, I would be having a different experience right now. I probably would be a little more hotter instead of as cool as I am because of the color. All colors have vibrations. Because all colors have vibrations, what you wear affects your reality. Not just how you feel, but how other people perceive you and are affected by your energy. So when you are adorning or clothing yourself in the morning, evening, whenever your day starts or night starts, you can take into consideration the vibrations of the colors that you are projecting from your aura. For example, if you wanted to, excite passion and energy, you can wear red. If you want to, let's just say, tranquility, peace, wear blue. You want to promote royalty, you want to promote spirituality, purple, so on and so forth. Where the colors that we project actually do matter. But we can take it a step further because it's not just what you wear, you can also project colors mentally. You can project things mentally. We always must remember that our imagination is more powerful than our physicality. So we can move things with our minds just as easy as we move our hands and feet. We must always remember that we can push with the mental force and pull with the mental force. All of these things essentially make up formulas. So every time we walk out of our heart, no, I don't want to say household, let's just use a different word. Let's make it a little bit more prestige. Every time you leave your king's or queen's chamber, when you world, you are a walking hieroglyph, right? I've said this before. We are walking hieroglyphs, especially when you have knowledge of who and what you are. Because when you have knowledge of who and what you are, you know how to work your energy based on how you work, based on how you are. You know what works for you, what doesn't work for you magically. You know what spiritual systems to be a part of and which ones to stay away from because of your bloodline. All of these basic, simple things that we overlook on a daily basis can actually be enhanced and charged once we understand the science of how all these things work. It's called the science of everything in life. Every little thing is scientific. And if you know the formulas or the equations for all these things, you can unlock the secrets of these things. For example, if you know how to unlock your mind, that gives you an advantage. If you know how to unlock the secret chambers in your body that we call the chakras, gives you an advantage. Anything that you know it works from the inside and out gives you an advantage. Another example, most people have, but very few people know how phones actually. They may know how to use the software on the phone that's downloaded onto the hardware of the phone, but most people really don't understand the hardware or how to build the software, even though they know how to utilize it. For example, most people know how to use Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, any of these sites or platforms. But if you ask someone, can you build a Facebook? Can you build a Snapchat? Can you build an Instagram? Can you build an iPhone? Can you build an Android phone? The answer is going to be no, because we don't understand things that in depth as consumers. The only way you would know these things is if you have a personal interest in it. You are getting paid for it, right? Even though we utilize these things every single day, very few of us actually know how they work from the inside out. So, for example, let's just say you have that knowledge. Let's just say you know how it works from the inside out. Let's just say the phones. We all have phones. You know how the software works, how the hardware works, how to build the software, also how to build the hardware. Do you know the type of advantage you get having that information? You know, not just know, you have access to data and information that other people simply don't have access to, which gives you an advantage. This is all about having an advantage. There's no magic if you're not trying to gain some type of advantage that you otherwise would not have if you didn't conduct magical ceremonies, whatever you want to call them, high or magic. So I just want to lay the basis down. How everyday, ordinary items, once you know how they work, can take you to a deeper chamber in your subconscious so that you can pull energy that you usually have access to because we're not thinking deeply. Most people don't think. Most people don't know how to think. Most people do not have original thought. So if you know how to think, you have original, have mastered your own mind, that is an accomplishment that very few, maybe 1% of the planet accomplishes. So when you undertake this hard labor, because you shouldn't even be in this atmosphere if you are afraid of the hard path. We don't walk this path for an easier life, but for because you have access to things directly. What do I mean? Most people don't have direct access to this earth. Most people don't know how this earth works, right? But they have plenty of knowledge of everything else. But if we get back to the absolute basics, let me give you an example of what I mean. For example, right? Let's take, for example, hip hop. We're going to use hip hop because hip hop is natural science. Hip hop is composed of 9 elements. Claim that they're part of the hip hop culture, that they are hip hop, have no idea what the elements. We don't have to go through them here. We can just go through the main ones that we are all familiar with. We don't have to go through all 9. Briefly, we know you got the MC, you got the B-boy, B-girl, you have graffiti artist or the graph artist, and lastly, you have the beatser, the one like the beats. However, I don't even know how they do it. That's the special people have. You can perform hip hop anytime, anywhere. You can have a whole party with MCs, B-boys, B-girls, DJs, turntablists, and graph artists to bring the whole atmosphere together. You can have a whole party with these elements in place. Just no science on the face of this earth. You got a hip hop party going on, you're all good because it's natural science. You receive this information from the earth, right? There is no book to be read that teaches you how to perform hip hop. You have to observe it with your own eyes, be a witness of someone else performing the arts. Then you learn how to perform it yourself after someone else do it. To pass down the lineage, right? Someone had to put the idea up in your mind for you to perform the element. The element can be performed anywhere on the planet. It doesn't matter if you're in Japan, America, China, South Africa. Hip is everywhere. Hip hop is a universal culture on every inch of this planet. If you come in the name of hip hop, you are accepted everywhere. Well, I know this to be true. Well, I had to find out for myself, right? So I had to travel. As you know, I've documented on this channel, I documented my travels because I wanted to see if I am hip hop, I should be accepted anywhere. It don't matter if I'm in New York, Atlanta, LA, Las Vegas, wherever. I should be able to walk these lands and be just fine because I am culture. I am the streets, right? No, because I said it. Let me show and prove this to myself. Let me not say it because that's what I think in my own mind. Do others agree with me, right? We must test our knowledge. Am I just saying that for myself? I want to hear it, or is that the actual truth? In order for the actual truth, I have to prove it. Someone has to reveal that to me. You have to receive the energy that you gave out. So I had to receive the energy that I gave out. And it's all been documented. Right? You guys have seen me, for those who've been around long enough, you have seen me be the same way no matter where I am at all times. And firm with the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding. 500 videos later, we still here breathing this game because it don't stop. It's infinite. Because it doesn't stop, it's not something that you get tired of. It's not something that you outgrow. You don't outgrow the knowledge of yourself. You outgrow spiritual components of life that can be utilized to your advantage. You get more advanced, right? We hear the siren going off, right? Welcome to the city of Mars, right? All these things can be used to our advantage if you know how it works. If you know how a thing works, use it in ways other people do not use it. For example, basketball. Most people, when they think about a basketball, they think about putting the basketball in the hoop, right? You have to shoot the basketball against distance, against your opponent, and make a hoop, right? Someone with a mind can find how to utilize this basketball in ways that we never thought it could be used for. I'm not going to say we see it all the time, but there has been times where people use things for different reasons that were intended to be used. I think they call these things what life hacks. They may call them life hacks, right? A life hack is something that serves a different purpose that it was intended to serve, right? You have figured a different purpose for something, even though it was created for something else. That takes original thinking. We all have the ability to do these things once we place our mind in that mentality. So once we place our mind in the mentality of anything is possible, not because we say so, but because the mind is infinite. So we are only limited to our imagination. Let me give you an example, because I'm sure it's not anything new, but I'll give you an example. Can you, a year from now, for example, what is it, August 28th, 2019, can you think about August 28th, 2020, and place yourself there? Trace back 365 days. Can you trace yourself back? Can you place your consciousness a year in the future and trace yourself back as to how you're going to get there, step by step? So you set a point, then you bridge the gap. That requires imagination. Why do I say imagination? Because it's going to take more in our conscious mind. That's going to take the conscious mind and the subconscious. That's going to take both sides of the brain, because you're going to hit a limit with the conscious mind. We only know so much consciously, right? Consciously, we only know so much. Eventually, the subconscious mind has to take over, fill in those gaps that we do not know consciously. So sometimes people have to go into meditation, sometimes go to sleep, dream, see the answer in the dream, see it in the sleep, whatever, whatever. All this is the subconscious taking over the conscious mind so that you can receive things that the conscious mind is limited in giving you. When we exercise our imagination, so it's doing mental exercises of this nature and tracing ourselves back. You will have to be in meditation to do so, because the conscious mind is going to be limited at some point. The subconscious to take over and fill in those. That's what the sub does. The conscious mind sets the intentions, the subconscious mind fills gaps. So once we set the intention consciously, so we're using our conscious mind to set the intention, then the subconscious mind bridges gaps. Because the subconscious is all about creativity. The conscious is all about logic. So we are trying to use logic to figure out how we're going to get to point A to point Z. We're going to fail because it requires more than logic. It requires creativity. You need logic and creativity to do that exercise properly. So you need the conscious mind to set the point. You need the creativity to fill in the gaps. They say you are what you think, but it's more to that. How far can you? It's not about you just are what you think. How far and how expansive are your thoughts? Oh, I see I got the $10 donation, Rael. I appreciate it, big homie. You already know. You know what I mean? We drop. I appreciate that you appreciate the knowledge, and everybody else. If you support me with the website, you buy, so on and so forth. I appreciate it all. And I'm definitely going to get it. I'm going to get with the people in just a second, laying down this knowledge. I see I've been talking for 20 minutes, so yeah, let me just get to it. I've been speaking for 20 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, then, I see you, Sarah. I support you. Peace, peace. You already know. I'm here. I've been here for years. Not going nowhere. Y'all see I constantly drop it, bringing the new information. I'm always going to give you original thought. I'm always going to give you original perspective. You know, so we ain't going. It took a little time, some adjustments, but we right back at it. We're not going anywhere. So let me scroll up. Let me make sure that I didn't miss any questions. And yeah, I see the video is a little bit choppy, but you know, this is what you expect when it's a live stream, which is why I try to switch it up with the live stream and the pre-recorded videos, because the live stream sit isn't always the best. So I apologize for that ahead of time. If it's a little bit choppy, I'll make sure to do my to make sure that that doesn't occur for the next time. It may be the location, but we'll get it right eventually. So just give me a little time to make the proper adjustments, and we be right back at it. So just give it a little time. Hip hop is alchemical, absolutely. Hip hop is alchemy. You already know. Hip hop is our culture, especially the Americas, first and foremost, and it expanded. Hip hop is everyone's culture now. But if you in the Americas, you know you got it serious. You got it us. We are the teachers to the rest of the world because the music that they hear is our story. Is it not the collective story of the struggle in Americas? And we are a part of that struggle. This is ours. You know, we are spirits that is expressed through what we call hip hop, right? We compose or we make up what we call, you know, like that, straight like that. But I see everybody. What's up? What's up? I see everybody. All right. I see you. What's up, three Capricorn? Um, been doing hip hop for 5 years. Understand the metaphysical information that you receive. Ether while channeling lyrics, dance. Yeah, you already know. Yeah, shout out to you. Big shout out to James. You know what I mean? Much love to you. You know what I mean? For blessing me with the track. So you already know that track. Um, Cash. You know what I mean? Up to you, homie. You know what I mean? I appreciated working with that. You already know. It's all good working with the youngins. I guess I'm a little better now. Anybody want to do any work? Hip hop. Just hit my line. You already know. I got the love for you. Nothing but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding all day. Yeah. But nonetheless, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time, of course. My only question would be how to never fall off your path. Excellent question, because that is the most essential thing. See, like this scruffed up look, like I'm mean mugging. It's just a mentality. Let me get to the question. How to never fall off? You're going to fall off. A liar to say that I'm 100% all the time. I go through my tidal waves as we all. That's why you have a foundation. You're going to go through your waves. You're going to go through it. Why? Because you're going to be introduced with new information. You're going to be introduced with new people, places, things, events. Be introduced with so many things that changes your perspective of life. How if you have a foundation or if you have an anchor, you must have a foundation or anchor to root yourself so that when you take on new information, you don't get lost. So the anchor for me personally would be Supreme Mathematics, Supreme Alphabet, 120 lessons. You can say it's the 5% doctrine because my personal lineage, I came up in that school of thought. You know, I took the time. It took me 9 months to memorize all that, you know, but I was dedicated. That's something that I wanted to do. So because I went pretty much a whole rigorous training, who had to memorize things, had to know it by heart for the 5%, y'all know what I'm talking about. You have to have it on cap, as they say. You have to have it in your heart. You have to be able to have access to it instantly. Because it goes through order tradition. Everything must be mental. You can't always have notes that you pulling out studying. So my advice to you, have everything on the cap. So that if you lose everything, you truly lost nothing because you have it all on cap. You have it all in your heart. Right here and this right. It's right here and it's right here. You don't need nothing else. If you got your mind made up on your goal, you don't need nothing else. Have it all on cap. You know what I mean? That's why when I come and I speak to you guys, you don't really see me with too many notes. Maybe every now and then you may see me with a notebook, but most of the time, it's no notes. It come from here, come from here. You're not gonna fall off. Root yourself in the foundation. Let me see. Falling off teaches you more. You might think you gotta have the rain for the sun. In other words, you gotta go through the dark before you receive the light. The dark teaches you everything you need to know. Most definitely. So if you fall off, you can say you're receiving into the darkness, right? It happens, you know what I mean? You may start smoking a little bit too much weed, may drink a little too much, your mind may get a little hazy and cloudy. But it happens. While we're human, we're going to engage in humanly pleasures. We're going to sin, right? The woman's going to come through, and you know what I mean? Those feelings don't happen. Man is going to come through for the woman. We're going to go through our emotions. People are going to fall in love. People are going to fall out of love. You know what I mean? We're going to go through all this human motion. And it's going to, you're going to take some blows to the head. You're going to take some blows to the heart. But you have your foundation. Or for the astrology students, right? For all the astrology students, you have the four angles in your astrology chart, right? The four angles. What am I talking about? For those who may be unfamiliar, you have your ascendant, your descendant, your eye, and what am I missing? I'm missing one of them. Your north node. I think it's a north node. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Four angles or the four corners of your chart. But let me explain this quickly, and for those who cannot follow what I'm saying here. With your natal chart, if you know your planets from the sun all the way to Pluto, then you also have the asteroids, right? You got north node, you have the south. So on any natal chart, you got your planets, then you got your asteroids. You also have the four angles. That is your midheaven, right? Your midheaven is essentially how you achieve fame in this life or this world, right? So if anybody, well, how do I achieve fame? Why? Because we all have a personal star. You can say this, right? We all have a personal star, meaning we have the ability to be, quote unquote, famous in our own right. But how do we achieve fame? You have to look up your midheaven. So you can get your astrology chart done from me or someone else you trust, or chart done, type it in a free calculator on the internet, see where your midheaven is. That's how your personal fame, how you achieve personal fame in your life. Your descendant is your challenges in life. What are your challenges going to be? What's going to be your reoccurring challenges in life? You look towards your descendant if you want to know your reoccurring challenges. Now, you also have your ascendant. You have your sun sign, then you have your ascendant. Your ascendant is more about how you adapt your environment, and as well as your personality, how you engage with others, how you engage with your environment, right? So your personality as well as your environment and how you adapt to it all is your ascendant. So how you use your resources, what you see in your environment. Like it can be five people in one room and they see five different things, right? Depending on their knowledge. Depending on the knowledge you have will determine what you see when you enter into any room or go outside or whatever. All that is based on knowledge. What you see is based on what you know. The more you know, the more you see. There are things that don't register in the brain. We don't have a word for it. If you don't have a word for something, it doesn't even register to the brain. The more words you know, the more intelligent you become because you can identify in real time. So your your personality in the sense how you interact with other people and how you interact with your environment. And lastly, you have your IC, right? IC is essentially your foundations. So let's just say when you lose it all, not necessarily like lose all money, or basically when you essentially feel lost in life, we're not sure what your path is or how to get to your midheaven, how to get to your no, which will be your destiny. Not really sure what to do. You want to go back and reach your roots, back to your root, go back to your foundations, that's your IC. That's what you really want to look at. So if you like you fall off, you need to retrace steps and reintroduce yourself to you and what's important to you. Your astrology chart or get me to do it, get someone to do it, and look at your IC. That's where your foundations is. Essentially, all of the dust or all the carbon, all of the melanin that falls as we live our life, essentially all of the residue or all of the karma, you can call it residue, call it karma, falls into the IC. So look towards your IC if you want to know your upbringing, foundations, if you need a restart in life, right? What's up, Anthony? What's up, homie? Much love, much love. Where we at? Where we at? Okay. I need to know what 2020 will bring me based on my birth chart. I can already feel myself shifting. Well, I have your birth chart right in front of me, 305 Capricorn. But definitely email me if you need your birth chart done. Definitely email me and we can take a look at it to answer any questions you need answered. But I don't have it right in front of me right now, so I can't really based on your birth chart if I don't have it in front of my face. Tips on sound systems to perceive music with the inner ear. So, actually talking about music spirits. Well, what's up, Ted Mins? Because I know you were part of the web. Well, shout out to everybody that's a part of the website. You know what I mean? It's a special place in my heart. You were part of the website. It's a whole. Or no, it's a whole different atmosphere. You get the more personal pieces of me. But to answer your question, tips on your the sound systems. Basically, I guess you're asking how do you hear the music of the spheres, right? If you are a producer, if you are a person that makes instrumentals or you play music, if your life revolves around the notes, the sound, keys, music. If that's your first language, essentially, if music is your first language, then I would encourage if you want to get deeper into the language of music as a whole, I will encourage you to work with the vibration of the moon, number two. Whether you want to add your house vibration to a number two, or you just want to put a number two up your bedroom or your studio, at the edge of the door, number two, or just put a big two, in your atmosphere, put it in your wall. You just want to work with the energy of the moon. You want to work with lunar energy, because the lunar energy is you deeper. 'Cause definitely, what I would do if I wanted to work with a number, I just put it on the edge of not the house or like the front door. If you your house vibration, you would change. You would put a number on the back of your front, but put a number room door. Like if you don't want to change, let's just say you may not be the head of your household. You don't want to change the energy of the house, and have thinking like what's going on. You just want to maintain to your own personal space. You can use that same sign to just put a number up on your door. So when you enter into your room, number two on the edge of your door, wherever you open the door. So if you open the door this way, you would be putting at the top right hand corner. You get what I'm saying. However you open the door, just put the number two up there. So that will bring in more energy. That will bring in the energy of the moon, and it allows you to go deeper into your music, deeper into the inner ear. So that's just a little quick jewel for those music lovers. If you want to get deeper into the language of music, channel the energy or the lunar energy, or work with lunar deities. Any deity that's associated with the moon, call them forth. So anything associated with lunar, the moon, feminine energy, dig deep. All right. Okay. What's up, Marvin J? Big shout out to you, homie. I like seeing familiar faces. You know what I mean? You already know. So even if I come back, I see the same. That dedication. You know what I mean? That's what I come back for. I like seeing the familiar faces. So I already know I'm gonna do my best to make my face more known, and so my face a lot more. So I can give you my word for that. All right. What's up, Lex? What about 13 signs astrology or uh, surreal? I believe that's how you say it, but yes. The astrology software that I can use the tropical or the surreal, if I'm saying the word right. But you understand what I'm saying. So I have access to both. In terms of the 13 signs, I do not have the technology to do 13 signs. astrology. However, if someone has software, if you can direct me to the software that has the ability to calculate the 13 signs, then let me know. Then I can, get the software and we can go there. But as of now, I'm aware of any software that has the 13 signs. If anyone is aware of this, shoot me an email so I can give you that, because I want to be able to offer as much as I can. And because I know everybody comes from walks of life. You got Vedic astrology, you got the Western astrology, and you have the different house systems and all. It's so many different variations of astrology. So understand the variations. All right. Okay, where we at? Are you going to talk more about the Dracos? Yeah, what you want to know about the Dracos? Just let me know. Tropical was started by a white Caucasian man. Okay, so let's talk about that. We can talk about that, because it is my strongest subject. If I say I have a strongest subject, it's astrology. So let's speak on that briefly, because I use both. I use the tropical and the surreal. I don't use just one. And let me tell you why. This is what I have discovered in my studies. What I discovered was the tropical zodiac is more. It shows me what's happening right in front of me. This is what I can honestly say. When I'm looking at my tropical chart, or just any tropical chart, it is reflective of what's actually happening right in front of you. When I look at the real chart, it's more reflective of how you are inside of you. I mean, for example, if I wanted to know what was going on in my household right now in real time, then I would look at my tropical. Anything I want to know, like, okay, if I'm trying to understand anything that's going on physically, because the tropical chart are more physical, they're more connected to the earth, they're more based on seasons. So the tropical zodiac is more based on seasons. So it's more earthly based. So if I like what's going on physically, if I want to know about anything physically, then I go to the tropical zodiac. However, if I want to get a clearer picture of how I am internally, then I go to the surreal. So the surreal may not reflect going on right in front of me, but it still reigns true within me. It's still a part of me that I say, like, you know what, I do resonate with that, even though it doesn't reflect what's actually, in front of me. So I use both. So if I want to know what's going on right in front of me, the tropical. If I want to really talk to a hidden aspect of myself, or a more sacred aspect of myself, then I use a surreal, right? Because again, the tropical is more connected to the seasons, the surreal is more connected to constellations. That's the main difference. For those who may not know, the tropical is more connected to the seasons, and the surreal is more connected to the constellations and the stars. So one is Eastern, one is Western, just to clarify that. All right. Um, let's see. What's up, Afro Pick? All right. Again, I love familiar faces. You know what I mean? We truly are a family. You know what I mean? Who else will stick around this long if you ain't fucking with the right? All we have is the truth. All we got is the truth. That's all we got, right? All right. All right. Where we at? Where we at? Where are we? I've been gazing heavy into mirror. I've been getting heavy into mirror gazing lately. Anything I should know? Yes. For those, basically what you're talking about, scrying. The science of gazing is called scrying. Scrying, scrying. Basically, what scrying is basically you taking any reflective and it creating visuals. You start experiencing visuals by any reflective surface. What they call it nowadays is ASMR. This is what I noticed. I will be the first person to say this, because I figured this out on my own. All right? What we call today as ASMR is essentially scrying, right? Especially the ways, again, for those who may not understand ASMR, it's essentially type it in YouTube, is people making sounds. It can get pretty weird for those who don't understand it. It's essentially people making sounds that triggers your nervous system. You pretty much feel pleasurable sensations down your back and your spine and your arms, so on and so forth. It's essentially like a brain massage, an internal brain massage. But what's actually going on? Because on the surface, that's what it is. So for most people, it helps people to sleep. It helps you to, I have a couple ASMR videos on my channel. For those who may be unfamiliar, check out my own ASMR videos. Just sounds that's created in a certain pitch to trigger your nervous system. So it creates healing. So if you got, a tense or whatever, it helps to release all the tension. So forth. It's a healing or a therapeutic science. I'll call it a science. But what I notice is connected to spirituality, because the same way that you get visual triggers with ASMR, somebody may be flashing a flashlight and it triggers you. ASMR same effect. I also realized that you can trigger ASMR without the videos or effects, just a memory. Able to trigger or memory of a sound. I can think about a sound and it triggers me just as if I was hearing real time. I'm like, oh, this is actually developing a spiritual muscle. Little do we, right? Little do we know, we're just enjoying this shit. But this is a greater science. But get back to what Anthony was saying. Scrying. So when it comes to scrying, gazing into any reflective surface, you definitely want to have your gaze relaxed. You want to have a relaxed gaze, not real intense. You want to have a relaxed gaze. You want to relax your gaze into the mirror. Also, you want to use candles. Do not use artificial light. Artificial light destroys the ectoplasm. So if you're any type of mirror gazing, do not use artificial light. Artificial light, right? No artificial light, soft gaze. Also use an incantation, like chant, do a chant. So if you want to chant a deity name or a mantra or a heka, whatever you want to do, then have it. And if you want to use a sigil, if you want evocation, then you can draw a sigil and put it on the mirror, the sigil as well. You can do it however you want. But soft gaze, no artificial light, and you're good to go. So let that be the beginnings. And when you want to land it, just type in scrolling and look up the complete science, right? So I just want to give you the actual term for it so that you can have a term of research so that you can expand your knowledge when you're ready. All right. Where we at with it? Um, hold on. Any quick tips for working with poetic demons? Do it alone. If you want to go poetic spirit or the 72 go, do it alone. Because what I noticed is I work with Oasia, if you are around people who's not built for that shit, they start to act. I've gotten into argument fucking with the goetic spirits. Not because they can't handle it, but that energy is ricocheting to other motherfuckers. None of that, right? So take it from me, take it from experience. If you're going to work with those spirits, do it by your, make sure the energy is not going to get into anyone else and they not handle it, because they will have a negative reaction to it, because this is powerful stuff, right? So, do it if you're outside, do it outside in your own space. Make sure you don't have anyone else around so that, the energy stays with you. So that's what I noticed. These are essential spirits. Like when you need to destroy, that's what the 72 go away shit is for. When you feel like life is stagnant, you need to break new. That's what the Goetia does. It started cracking the earth. Everything started breaking, earthquakes, but it brings in this new flow of energy. So it's a very volatile and very hard, groundbreaking energy, but gives a new burst of life at the same time. So if you can handle volatile, it's like an earthquake, going through an earthquake, then surviving the earthquake, then seeing like, oh, you start to see new opportunities. Like, look at all these gaps and breaks, and you can start grabbing. That's basically what it is. So if you can endure those tides, because it'll be a little tides, if you can endure it, good to go. Make sure, safe environment, a tranquil, so, it don't bounce off on anybody else, dark atmosphere, then you're good to go. So just be right. So if you want to, you can do the vocation or the evocation. The evocation, drawing the actual seals, and the invocation will be chanting the name of the demons. The incantation or the evocation will be the chant names, the evocation. I'm getting it wrong. It's the invocation and evocation. The invocation is the invocation. The evocation is when you draw the sigil, because each of the 72 go should have a sigil, right? So you can draw the sigil, that's evocation. If you do the chant, that's invocation. You can do one, the other, or both. It's all about personal preference. It's not a right or wrong way to go about it. So just make sure that you're dealing with volatile spirits. If you can handle the topic, good to go. That's what I have to say about the Goetia. All right. Info on Afro Satan, brother? Oh, absolutely. What you want to know about it? Basically, for those who may not know, Satanism is basically, before we start talking about animal sacrifice and all this dark stuff, Satanism is essentially pulling energy from the earth. If we want a basic definition of Satan, is you pulling energy from the earth. The energy pulled from the earth is negative energy. So you're pulling negative energy from the earth and you're transmitting this negative energy pulling from the earth. It's negative because it's raw. So this raw negative energy you're pulling from the earth and you're transmuting that energy into essentially your body, and it's like you're charging up your aura with a special type of energy from the earth, because most people know how to do this. So you're pulling energy. That's why the inverted pentagram is facing down. The energy is getting pulled from the earth or shooting into the earth. It all depends on how you're doing it. Either you're pulling energy from the earth or you're shooting energy into the earth. Going into the subterranean planes, the hollow earth, flat earth, the subterranean. It's a whole philosophy on that. The aliens inside the earth, right? So Satanism is going into all that shit. So it's whole deep philosophy. Really want to get into it. I have a lot of information about Satanism on my website as well. I have about maybe 5, 7 articles on Satanism. I talk about the Black Mass for those who's unfamiliar with the Black Mass. I really go deeper, in written form on the website. So if you want written form, you know, go to the website. I got some information, that I don't really talk about publicly. But basically, just the basic foundation of it is just projecting or pulling from the earth in its raw form and charging that and pulling it into your aura and charging yourself and getting what you want based on your will. For example, like a woman will pull from the in the sense you make herself more alluring, more sexually attractive, regardless of her physical attributes. We're talking about energy now. Able to pull energy from in the earth, charge herself with this sexual alluring energy, and then able to manipulate people, male or female, anyone falls to her spell, as an example, right? It's Satanism because it's more individual based. So you're not thinking about the collective, you're not thinking about the all, you're not thinking about God, you're thinking about I, self, law, and master. You're thinking about you are the and you are the last. Yourself first and last, versus being this universal vessel for spirit. So it's a more individual based way of life. It's not really something that you congregate 100 people, 200 congregating, having meetings. That's more religious act. But real Satanism, it ain't really a collective way of life. I'm telling you that right. Like real Satanism is not a collective way of life. It's an individual way of life. It's individual practitioner, if that's even a thing. You are an individual practitioner. You are a Satanist. This is not something that is really done collectively, as it may be thought. With black rituals or these satanic cults. I'm not saying that these don't exist, but that's not real Satanism at its core. Real Satanism at its core is individual, based in chaos. It's based on the self versus God. Basically, a Gnostic perspective for those who may be familiar with Gnosticism or Sufism. It's a more Sufi or Gnostic perspective of life, which are all articles and videos on Gnosticism on the website for those who want information on. But we're coming up on an hour to get through these questions before we check out. All right. Let me see. Where we at? Where we at? I dream a lot about certain dragons, especially when I feel protected. People demonize reptilian energy so much, and they're going to always demonize that reptilian energy. we're the reptilian people, right? The so-called reptilians that's supposed to be the alien reptilians, all this stuff. Welcome. This is who we are. Cause who else would we be? You think it's gonna be some aliens come from outer space that's gonna change shit around? Or are they not talking about people? Do aliens really exist, or are they talking about the subterranean aliens, not the aliens in the constellation, the aliens in the earth? Just in the ponder on. Or are they talking about human beings with alien DNA and genetics? Who have dragon DNA? Who have serpent DNA? Something to ponder on, right? Just something to ponder on. All right. I want to fill them out understanding with numbers. Can someone drop me a number? Well, anything about numerology. Just learn basic attributes of the numbers, and you good. To go. Study supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet. Just learn the basic attributes of the number. Number one is the sun, two is the moon, three is Jupiter, so on and so forth. When you know the basic attributes of the number, you just build, 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 build. But you have to learn the basic attributes. One is individualism, solar power, strength, force, anything associated with the sun. Of course, two is about family, cooperation, anything done collectively and family orientated, and so forth. Go from one all the way to nine, and don't forget about the zero, which is a cipher. So I guess I don't want to make it seem like it's the easiest thing in the world, but once you got it up here and once you have it up here, it becomes second nature. And that's what I always try to show forth. Like most of the time you see me, it's coming from up or it's coming from in here, and I always show that. You know what I mean? Fuck these notes. Have it on cap. Have it there so you have instant access. Instant access is 2020 lifestyle. We want instant access, instant manifestation, right? You gotta have it up here. Anything instantaneous can only happen. Instant anything, manifestation, money, miracles, anything that instantaneous, you have it all inside of you. It can't be nothing external of you. You have to already possess it. And you have to wake it up. You have to command it with your will. You have to bring it to life. It has to already be inside. If it's not already inside, how can you do it? So it just takes a little time to get everything that's in your notes. Like I recently just got rid of all notes. I had 10 years. I had 10 years worth of notes that I've just been writing down. I just recently, like, you know what? I don't even need it no more. It's all up here now. I don't even use the notebooks. It's all up here now. You do it long enough, it's gonna be right there. So you're not even gonna need it. You know what I mean? Just write, just like the writer or the rapper. Like all these rappers nowadays, they talk about how they don't use the pen. It comes straight from here. So that philosophy, it has to come here. It has to come here. Not because rappers do it. Why do they do it? Who taught them? Who was the first to have all things on cap? The Renaissance man, right? The alchemist, the walking encyclopedias, right? Before the internet, when you had to have it up here. So going back to that, going back to the ancient, got it all on cap. It all on cap. How do you have it all on cap? Correspondence. You have to be able to correspond things, right? Be able to correspond things. The tarot helps you to do it. See, I don't even use cards anymore. Like I used to do tarot readings and show you all the off deck, the decks. I don't even use decks no more. I use a regular playing card deck that you get from any store right now. I just use a regular playing card, and it works just as fine because when you know everything by heart, now I can take a regular playing cards, 52 cards, and conduct readings on motherfuckers. Because when you know what each is already, you know it by heart. You don't need a deck to show you anymore. You can use any deck of cards and use divination with it. You can do it with any cards. So I don't even use tarot. Just use regular. I can use take regular playing cards, start whipping up. Cause that's when you get advanced. You don't need help of the other cards anymore, of the imagery. You don't need to rely on imagery anymore. At a certain point, you don't need the imagery. Why? Because you know about the astrology of it. You know how every card correlates zodiac sign and a planet. Once you know what that zodiac sign and that planet is, when you know it up here, then you don't need it. You can use anything. So as I come back more, y'all gonna see me. I may do it tomorrow. Whenever I do it, I just whip out regular playing cards, and I can do what y'all used to see me doing, but more advanced. Just taking it to the level, just showing y'all. You know what I mean? Gotta fuck the imagery. So I'm just showing y'all how to get moving, get the momentum, build the momentum up. Those who can appreciate these occurrences. All right, where we at? Um, I resonate a lot with my surreal. Yeah. So whether it's tropical or surreal, it resonates with you because it speaks to a true aspect of you that's real. So even though it may not reflect your actual reality, it is true to you. It speaks to a truer essence of you. So that's absolutely correct. What's up? What's up? Your cool. All right. Yeah, it's a flight boss does readings. I think I've heard about him before. So yeah, whoever whoever you trust, like whoever you fuck with, get your reading from. You know what I mean? But so let me make this announcement first before I go any further, since we're talking about readings. So next few days, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to break down my astrology readings, because what I used to do, give people the entire reading from the sun all the way to Pluto, and I may go through the aspects, I may not. But what I'm going to do from now on, because everybody doesn't necessarily understand every component of astrology, right? So for those who are less familiar with astrology, I have now designed readings where I specify certain areas of life and giving you the entire, and you just had to figure it out from there. What I can do is I can specialize on a certain area of your life and just give you the information you need for that particular area. So what do I mean? So if you're trying to build up your self-image, for example, your self-image, your independence, so on and so forth, that's your true essence or your true character in the world, then I would do a reading based on that. If you're trying to get money right, the second, trying to get your resources right, your values up, so on and so forth. You want to become more grower. You want to know how the earth works. Second house, so I can give a reading based on just that instead of giving you it all at once. I can give it based on what you need. Anybody needs a certain area of their life explained to them without me going through the entirety of the chart. And then just hit up my email. And I got up for well, it's not expensive at all, especially if I'm just giving you just pretty much cutting to the chase. So and you just want to cut to the chase, you don't want the full reading, you just want a specific area of your life analyzed, then definitely hit up my email, and in the next couple of days I should have these services on the website. But if you want to get the services before I make them official on the website, just hit up the email, Asha Renew. Well, no, that's the website. Asha at AshaRenew.com. There you go. So just pointing that out there, putting it out that we have that understanding. So I'm just going to do the slices instead of giving you the whole thing at once, charging like $100. I can give you just a slice, $20. $20, you get the part that you need, and you move on. Right? So instead of doing too much. So for those who may be who may not need all that information all at once, you just may need to focus on a specific area. So I'll do that for you. Of course, I'll be doing the tarot readings with regular playing cards, right? And again, showing more of that. And of course, I can do readings with the runes for those who are into the German occultism. Can pull out runes on motherfuckers. Anyway, then of course, I got the crystal ball. I got the black crystal ball. I can stare into the crystal ball. I start, as a person, let's just say, if you were on the phone with me, you were telling me things, and I can stare into the crystal ball, and I'll be able to see. Anyway, just working on my skill set. So if you don't see me on YouTube, it's because I'm working on my skill set so I can offer better and more services, right? So let me answer these last before we check out. And let me see where we at. Okay. What's up, Small? What's up, Joshua? Any rare or more unknown cult spots you recommend in South Los Angeles? You know who I recommend. Have you been to Devil's Gate? You're gonna do, you have to go through the gateway first. Do I know any? Have you Devil's Gate? If you ain't been to Devil's Gate, you shouldn't be asking about. That's the gateway. You got to pass through the gate. If you are in Southern California, take your ass to Devil's Gate. If you got a heart, 3 a.m. Don't go in the daytime when everybody else are friendly. No, go in night when it's scary and spooky as fuck and it ain't nothing but ghouls and goblins. Right? Go at where you really feel, you will feel Satan himself. You want to feel Satan himself, go to Devil midnight. Devil midnight. You don't need nothing else. You will get your fix. Your fix. So yeah, anybody on the West Coast, go to Devil's Gate. You don't know about Devil's Gate, do your Google search. If you want to do an initiation with the devil, you want to sell your soul, all this stuff, go to Devil's Gate. Get your reward, right? I've been 3, 4, 5, 6 times myself. I got many different experiences. You know, it gets pretty crazy. But if you in Southern California, go to Devil's Gate. If you can go with somebody, somebody. But if you just a brave soul, you know what I mean? Do it alone. I had to do it alone. I went times with other people, enough courage. I went by myself. You know what I mean? It's an experience that changed me forever. Um, That's what promoted the video I did. I had a conversation with the devil. I believe it was. I had a conversation with Ishu or the devil. I don't know if I named it Ishu or the devil. Go back to that video. I talked all about it. Anyway, yeah. Way to connect to Scorpio energy. Go to graveyards. If you want to connect with the Scorpio energy, go to your local graveyard and smoke tobacco, right? Make sure you have some at the gate. Again, this is voodoo, right? Take your ass to the graveyard. Ask for permission from the spirits to get their attentions. Light up a cigar or a cigarello if you don't want to buy a cigar, light up a cigarello. You can get it at the gas station too for $1. With the shit you roll with the weed up in. You know what I mean? Light your shit up. Keep the tobacco in there. If you want it in there, put the weed in there, whatever. Light it up. Ask for permission. To enter the yard and be respectful, right? And when they if they all right, it's cool, because you would know, because you would feel the energy. You would feel the energy whether it's cool or not. So it's not that you're going to be hearing, but you would know if it's cool or not. Ask for permission. Be respectful. Go to the graves and just bond with the dead. Bond with the skeletons around. You have to bond. So spend the day in the graveyard. And make it one of those low graveyards, not low graveyard, but one of those less luxury based graveyards, like a grave you can have access to it at night hours. Like you may only need to hop a fence or something. And you ain't gotta. Not and anyway, you get my point. Go to the grave. Go to the grave. Ask for permission. Work your magic. Do a ritual at the grave site. Whatever you're trying to connect with, do a ritual at the grave site after you ask permission and get it in. You know what I mean? Call upon Baron Somni and Madame Brigitte from the Voodoo Pantheon. Ask for permission to conduct your ritual, in their domain, in their place, and get it in. Be respectful of the spirit, and they give you the same respect. All right, there you go. Um, you don't have to use tools for readings. Can just use your intuition. It all you are reading with no tools. Absolutely. Why? Because when you are a true seer, you can read people's face. You can read people's palms. So you're right. You don't need tools when you are the seer because you can read everything. You can read marks on people. Not that mark here. I'm just showing my muscles, but you can read. You can read marks on people. You know what birthmarks mean. You know what I mean. You can detect and discern exactly who a person is if you are a seer. So you don't need any tools, but you use the tools to help you get to that level, to become the reader, the palm reader. You even got readers that can read like the shapes of asses and shit. Rumpology, some crazy shit that you it's just crazy, but your body is full of tools and tools that can be read with a person who has that sight. So we are truly open books when you know that. You can be read. There's nothing possibly hide from a seer. So you're right, you don't need tools, but it takes, so use the tools to help you in developing your intuition. The tools help you to develop your intuition. That's what they're. So the tools are not needed, but they help in development of your intuition, and that's your true tool. The true tool is intuition, and you develop that intuition with the tools that we call astrology, that we call alchemy, and that we call natural magic or natural science, which will include tarot, witchcraft, sorcery, necromancy, and Satanism, right? All occult science, all in there, right? Okay. Exactly. Supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, supreme alphabet, excuse me. 0 to 9 and A to Z. So type in supreme alphabet, type in supreme mathematics, learn about heart, habit, cap. So you should know it's the 15th letter. You know what I mean? You should know Z is the 20th letter. You should know that S is the 19th letter. You should know E is the 5th letter. You should know J is the 10th letter. You know, it gotta be there. You correspond. You gotta already know it. This knowledge, 2 is wisdom, 3 is understanding, 4 is culture, 5 is power, 6 is equality, so on and so forth. You got to have it all up here. Because when you have it all up here, you can work. Like today is the 28th day. If you go to the supreme mathematics, you know that that's wisdom, build, destroy. The wisdom to know how to build or how to destroy. What does that mean? You have to know. You have to be wise or in your discernment of who you choose to bring into your life to build relationships and who you decide to cut out of your life and destroy. It takes wisdom to know what do you need to build. But before you build, you must destroy. You must remove before you build. So you have to be wise and know that I have to remove. I have to level the land before I build on top of the land. Because if I build on top of land that's not level, then I'm going to have a weak foundation. So in order to I have to level the ground, I have to destroy what's there, clean out what's there, then build on top of it. And that takes wisdom. That's 28. Then the 8 takes 10, right? The knowledge cipher. The knowledge contained within the cipher. The cipher is 360 degrees. So the knowledge within those 360 degrees of health, because you say the body, the human body, 360 degrees, you have to have knowledge of. So that 1 and that 0, knowledge of self. Knowledge of the 360 degrees or lessons of self, of man. It's as simple as that. Then that 10 is the 1 again. Because when you have knowledge, that gives you access to new information, new data that no one else has access to, right? So that takes you or that puts you in a new playing field that's invisible. Now you're on an invisible playing field that you only awareness of because you have put in the work to have that awareness, right? So see, every day, numerology. You can break down the numerology every day. It's as simple as that. When you have it all, it just comes to you like that. So you start seeing shit in real time. You can't see it in real time if you got it written down on notes. You want to be able to activate it. You got to be able to activate it when you get it right then and there. That's all it can do. You got to have it up here. All right. All right. Smoke weed at the graveyard on full moon. That shit was crazy. Yeah. It's a new moon coming up. Yeah. So all our darker lords. You know what I mean? New moon. You already know. Get it in with the graveyard. Get it in with the spooky haunted spot. Any spot that attract a darker sinister energy, you know how to suck it up, contain that energy source. All my sorcerers out there, you know how to contain energy, suck up that shit. I don't want to get into it if you're not familiar, right? But sorcerers know you got to contain that shit. You got to contain those dark energies, but you got to go in their playing field. You got to go to where they be at. You got to contain that shit. You got to solidify. You got to capture their fucking souls and crystals. Motherfuckers be using crystals for all this soft shit. The souls with these crystals, but people ain't not knowing, nobody teaching them that real game, that real witch and sorcery that's really going on. capture darker energies and you can hold that shit, you can feel that shit in your hand. But that's neither here nor there. All right? We end it there. All right? So till time. Peace.